Hunter, could I take you back to September the 11th? I mean, what I'd really like to know is your reactions. And I know you said you were writing a sports column for ESPN when the planes hit the towers. But could I get you to tell that story of when you found out about it and what you were doing and what your reaction was?
Yeah, it was really dramatic in a low-key way. I had, in fact, just finished a sports column for ESPN. I forgot exactly what it was about. It was pretty good. And it had no sooner gone over the wire than I was on the phone. John Walsh, general editor of ESPN, was on the phone saying, you have to write about this disaster. And it happened. I had been going to bed after, I guess my column was late. It was running Monday night. I was just going to bed. TV was still on. I usually have it on just for the news. And I happened to see the first plane hit in my fogged condition. You know, I'd been up all night writing a column. I somehow knew it was real. I don't know why I've seen enough real life. What is that noise? Oh, thank you, yeah. Yeah, there was no mistaking the reality of that. It didn't make much sense. And it still doesn't really, but oh, here we go. This is the column I wrote, let's see, it appeared 9/12/01. Here it is. It was just after dawn in Woody Creek, Colorado, when the first plane hit the World Trade Center in New York City on Tuesday morning. And as usual, I was writing about sports, but not for long. Football suddenly seemed irrelevant compared to the scenes of destruction and utter devastation coming out of New York on TV.
You went on to say in that article, which I have in front of me, that even ESPN was broadcasting war news. It was the worst disaster in the history of the United States. Do you think that the event completely transformed the way in which Americans see themselves and their own vulnerability?
No, the event by itself would not have done that. I've seen planes hit the Empire State Building before. I didn't go totally out of my mind. People have been killed. But it was the way the administration was able to use that event and to, use it as a springboard for everything they wanted to do. Now, that might tell you something. I remember when I was writing that column, you sort of wonder when something like that happens, well, who stands to benefit? Fake murder, who had the opportunity and the motive. You just kind of look at these basic things. And I don't know if I want to go into this on worldwide radio here, but
you may as well.
All right. Well, what the hell? I saw that the U.S. government was going to benefit, and the White House people, the Republican administration, to take the mind of the public off of the crashing economy. Now, you want to keep in mind that every time a person named Bush gets into office, the nation goes into a drastic recession, they call it.
It sounds almost like the plot of that film Wag the Dog, where film producers sort of concocted a national event to inspire patriotism to take the public's minds off misdemeanors committed by the president. It seems a very long bow to me, but are you sort of suggesting that this worked in the favor of the Bush administration?
Oh, absolutely. And it's I spent enough time on the inside of the White House and campaigns, and I've known enough of the people who do these things think this way to know that the public version of the news of an event is never really what happened. And these people, I think, are willing to take that even further, so that I don't assume that I know the truth about what went on that day. And I just look around and looking for who had the motive, who had the opportunity, who had the equipment, who had the will. Yeah, these people were looting the treasury, and they knew the economy was going to a spiral downward.
From this distance, though, it does seem extraordinarily conspiratorial that you could sit there and see the hand of the U.S. government in this attack, rather than seeing international terrorists bent on somehow hurting America and the American people. What sort of reaction did your views get among your peers or amongst other journalists?
Well, it was greeted universally with kind of nervousness and almost nobody agreed with me. Nobody thought it was the right thing. Just to answer your question, no, it was about 99-1. But since then...
Did you publish those views anywhere?
I'm not sure if I've said that. If I haven't, I meant to. Let's see.
I was going to ask you, for the reaction to them, because, I don't want to seem Pollyanna-ish here, but it does seem an extraordinary conspiracy theory that you're putting forward, that your first reaction was to somehow implicate the US government in this attack rather than an enemy of the US government.
Well, you want to keep in mind that I have lived not just through, but very close to a lot of real tragedies in this country. And let me ask you, do you think that you know who killed John Kennedy, or Robert Kennedy?
Look, I have to say I was a boy at the time, but no, I haven't read the Warren Commission report. But it seemed to me that in this case there were so many more people involved. It would seem to be much less likely some sort of internal conspiracy. Well, it does. I can see where you're a little edgy accepting this for me. And well, let me just ask you on that. You've pioneered a form of journalism called gonzo journalism, in which it's almost like there's no revision. What you see and feel is what goes down on the page, and it's that first blush, that first image that hits the readership. Does that mean, Hunter S. Thompson, that in a way it's hard for you to appear credible within the US media, because people would say, oh look, that's just another conspiracy theory from a drug-addled gonzo journalist like Hunter S. Thompson?
Yeah, that's a problem. I'm not sure if it's my problem or other people's or theirs, but I'm looking at this column and the one after it. I've been right so often, and my percentages are so high. I'll stand by this column that I wrote that day and the next one. So what appears to be maybe gonzo journalism, well, I'm not sure where. I'm not going to claim any prophetic powers, but
well, one of the things you do say in that first article you wrote, you say it's now 24 hours later, and we're not getting much information about the 5 W's of this thing. Now, by the 5 W's, I'm presuming you mean the who, the what, the when, the why, and the how.
Yeah.
Is that still how you feel, that a year later those key questions haven't been answered?
Absolutely. It's even worse now. This is just a suggestion. 24 hours later, we're not getting much information about the 5 W's. Well, how much have we got beyond that? How much more do we have than we had that a year ago? Damn little, I think. We know a lot about the firemen who died, a lot about the people who stole the money from their charity funds, a lot about the people who donated all that blood, and Red Cross had too much of it, had to throw away 5 tons of blood, something like that. That may be an exaggeration. But no, I will stand by almost all my, well, no, come on. Get a grip on yourself, Doc. Don't talk like that.
Well, just, Hunter S. Thompson, let me ask you about your new book. The Kingdom of Fear, Loathsome Secrets of a Star-Crossed Child in the Final Days of the American Dream. It's a very apocalyptic title. Has this book, this new book, has it come off your reflections about September the 11th and the way it was handled by the American media? Well,
it came off of, the atmosphere in this country as of September 12th. Yeah, Kingdom of Fear. That's the way I see this country, and I'm not writing just a long screed, front to back, some kind of a political tract. But in the book, I'm trying to explain a little bit about, how I got this way, and why you should pay attention to my predictions.
Is this a critical time for the credibility of U.S. journalism? How this current war is being covered and how it's being reported on, and the sort of public information that the American people get? Is this a sort of critical test of the credibility of U.S. journalism?
I think definitely. Yeah, but I'm not sure how much credibility U.S. journalism really has, given that let's see, 5 years we lost 2 presidents and 1 civil rights leader to mysterious bums and assassins,